there's so much to say about PreTRITION, and PreTRITION is such an amazing product. I've heard so many times that even if that was the only product Euphoria had, it would be $1 billion company. And we are going to learn today why is that. So I think we're connected now live to Facebook. I want to make sure that we're also recording this, and everything seems to be working fine. Let me just, where is my PowerPoint? Where is the PowerPoint? You know, when you're used to work with 2 monitors, right now we are getting ready to travel to Vegas, and I'm doing everything with my laptop. So I'm trying to find where's my screen. Can you still see my PowerPoint screen, Dr. Jen?
I can see it, Jorge. Yeah, it just says Euphoria across it.
Okay, I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. Perfect. Awesome. We're ready now. And Dr. Jen, thank you very much again for your generosity, for sharing all this knowledge. And Dr. Jen, guys, as you know, she has a Ph.D., DNM, DOM, Certified Genetic Nutrigenetic Specialist. She is part of the Euphoria family. Everybody loves Jen. That is the saying inside of Euphoria between the staff, because we learn so much from her. She's so generous. She's always trying to help us understand the dimensions, the multi-dimensions of the DNA and the genetic conversation, which is pretty new for most of us. So Dr. Jen, welcome, and thank you very much for being here again. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jorge. I always appreciate the introduction. Guys, I'm in a different location today, so if I start to come in and out, I've asked Jorge to let me know. So I apologize if you miss any bits or pieces of any of this. But for starters, who's ready for Vegas? Like, who's excited? Who's ready for this? I'm very excited. I actually will head up tomorrow after seeing patients for a half day. So I'll be there for our registration and our meet and greet and mix and mingle. And super excited to see all of your beautiful and wonderful faces. Please, of course, feel free always to come and chat with me and let me know your stories. I love the stories. It's my favorite part about this. So just to kind of dive in, I asked to speak about PreTRITION because I think that it's not looked at as good as it should. Everybody thinks is a cleanse. And how many of you have heard the word detox or cleanse and have just been like, oh, no, that does not sound like any fun, right? And plus all the products that are on the market, I mean, my goodness, it's saturated with different types of detoxifications and cleanses and things like the gut cleanse and a colon cleanse and a liver cleanse and kidney cleanse and all these different things that they're and it doesn't really, sorry guys for the background noise, it doesn't really hone in on the importance of what I want to talk about today, which is what PreTRITION does. So have any of you ever actually thought, I need to prepare or prep my body for these nutrients that I'm going to give it? Like, how many of us have thought, you know what, before I take all this stuff, let me prepare my body to be able to accept it in a healthy way? I don't know too many people, when I talk to them about it, they're like, oh, okay, they don't realize, and I've said it before, there's an elegance to this. Absolutely. We can't just start throwing different things in our body and expect our body to be able to break it down, absorb it, and use it in a proper way. It makes it a lot less bioavailable when we don't PreTRITION or prepare our body for these things. So of course today discussing PreTRITION was just something that I think is extremely important. We highlighted a fantastic ingredient, which is also in our PreTRITION before with AC11, which I think we all learned a lot about. To highlight and discuss that. For me, the importance of PreTRITION is just allowing and being able to prepare your body on a cellular level for your nutrition. That's kind of the best way to think about it, in my opinion. You are preparing your body on a cellular level for your nutrition. So that way it responds better, it's more bioavailable, better absorbed, and works better than just trying to take it without preparing. I thought it was brilliant that they put the PreTRITION here. This is what I do in my clinic as well. Prepare patients for their, when I'm assessing and going after their genetic SNPs and weaknesses. So your body has this whole really complex detoxification system built right in, right? We spoke about some of these genetic SNPs in our detox talk, right? So we know that there's all these different SNPs and pathways and things that detox from our lungs and our skin, our kidneys and our liver, and all these happening on a daily basis we're not even thinking about. So all of our organs are kind of working together to keep us feeling healthy. Super, super important, right? Skin pushes out bacteria through sweat. Kidneys filter liters and liters of blood and produce urine to be able to excrete through urine. Our lungs expel carbon dioxide. Our intestines extract nutrients and take these nutrients from food and from our nutrition to be able to excrete these waste products as well. And our liver, can't forget about our liver, right? Clears out these toxins from the entire body. So we know that there's a lot that goes on with this little detoxification stuff that's happening every day that we're not even thinking about. We also understand that there's a genetic, we got to talk genes, there's a genetic component as well. Think about the two that stand out the most in our test, the GSTP1, which we spoke about in detoxification, and I'll retouch on that a little if we have to, and also the SOD2 gene. I mean, these are SOD2 and the GSTP1 is helping mucosal linings or membranes expel, which is talking about the lungs, the skin, the bowels, all these things, expel these toxins, right? Because we're exposed to these on a daily basis. And then think about it. We've talked about this quite a bit in Euphoria, and I love how Ron and the team always bring this in. It's not just one thing, right? You're not just going to take this product and everything's going to be fantastic. It's going to help, yeah, but if we have these factors, exogenous factors like chronic stress, unhealthy habits, physical inactivity, a diet that's high in these ultra high processed foods and oils, and genetic weaknesses, I mean, this can totally tank our body's natural detox system, right? And that's not something that we want. We want to be able to do this naturally and have our cells ready for all this great stuff that we're trying to give it. So it can actually make it harder if we don't go to remove these toxins from our bloodstream efficiently and from our bodies and organs and tissues, and everything like that that's included within the detoxification pathway can make it more inefficient, and we're not going to absorb all these great nutrients that we're packing into this product, right? So this will actually decrease the ability for us to properly absorb our nutrition, as I was saying, and plus from our food. Think about that, at least vitamins, minerals, the foods, the healthy foods that we eat, the sunshine that we're getting, even that, the oxygen that we breathe, that's all part of being able to put it into a healthy cell. And if it's full of crap, guess what? It's not going to work as well, is it? So we have to take out the trash, essentially. So if our cells are loaded with toxins, we'll use a proper term here. Crap probably isn't the best one. If it's loaded with toxins, how is it supposed to take in the good stuff, right? I mean, if you think about that, we don't think about preparing our body and pre-attrition, pre-attrition. Toxins, right? I'm going to speak about that a little bit. Interesting facts that I actually found quite a while ago, and I know that we all understand what glycophosphate is, and I'm not trying to make this about that. I just want to talk about one of the biggest known toxins to humans that we have out there, right? Interesting fact. Based on this recent analysis they pulled, they did 1,200 urine samples. 76% of people have glycophosphate in their system. 76%. Most people have no idea, of course, that it's in their bodies. How would you, right? It's like, oh, I know I have glycophosphate. We don't know that. So glycophosphate being one of the most widely used pesticides, so it's sprayed on everything, okay? Glycophosphate and heavy metals, things like that, molds, the things that we're exposed to don't go away on their own. They tend to stay until our body, or until we take action to actually help our body remove them, especially if there's a genetic detoxification way, which is what we spoke about when we talked about detox. So if we're not able to properly get these things down, and our body already doesn't do this efficiently anyway, it's going to be a double whammy for us, right? We're going to even have a harder or more difficult time being able to get this out of our body. The only true and effective way, right, and most comprehensive type of detox is actually a cellular detox. This is also known as cellular cleansing. Okay, cellular cleansing is actually designed to remove these harmful toxins from our body. So we don't want them to stay, wreak havoc, and cause all these problems at the cellular level, right? That's when it becomes very dangerous. So while many people are sitting here focusing on, I'm going to eliminate all these toxic foods that I'm eating, which is important, continue to do that, please. But there's so many other toxins that people encounter that are not food related. Right? Go outside sometimes and take a deep breath. Spray your hairspray, ladies. Put your makeup. There's a ton of different toxins that we're exposed to. I know we discussed this in the detox segment as well. It all is potential toxins and all these things that we're exposed to on a daily basis, right? We need to aim to remove them as much as possible from our bodies. We can't really control the environment aspect, of course, but if we can keep our bodies clean, then that's going to help us absorb and utilize these nutrients and stuff so much better, which is why this pre-attrition is so important. So it's different things to look for. What I tell people, prolonged exposure to these types of toxins, these symptoms that you can experience because of it, brain fog. How many people have just said, and I've had my moments as well, where you're just like, my brain is just, I can't seem to, I'm not crystal clear. I have a little brain fog going on. That's a huge indicator that your cells need to be detoxed, right? Fatigue, and there's a lot of other things that cause tiredness and fatigue, but this one, dizziness or vertigo, contributing factor as well. Depression can be a symptom. Muscle joints and acheness, from the muscles and the joints can be a problem. Digestive problems, that's a huge issue we see a lot, of course. And then high and low blood pressure, believe it or not, can cause or be an effective symptoms that are caused by a heavy metal toxin overload or something that's in the cells that's making it not be able to absorb those proper nutrients that we need. How can you kick more ass when you feel like this, right? You can't. So that's where pre-attrition puts on its cape and comes in and saves the day and helps prepare our body for this, prepare our body for all these wonderful nutrients. And we're able to look at your genetic variants and say, okay, you have a weakness here, but let's support that, which is a beautiful thing. But if we don't prepare the body first, then it tends to not, it'll still work, but not as well. So pre-attrition is actually here to help our bodies kind of enhance its natural detoxification pathway, which we talked about, right? And support a healthy, and let me say this loud and clear, non-aggressive cellular detox. I've had people that have done detoxes before, and they said it's kind of put them into like this flu-like symptoms to where they're achy and they're sore and they're using the bathroom a lot. And we want to be able to use the bathroom a lot because we need to rid these somehow, right? We need to sweat more. We need to urinate more. We need to have more bowel movements. But when it becomes to where you're like, I can't leave my house and I feel like I have the flu and I'm achy and I just feel completely miserable, that's not really a feeling that we want to feel. If somebody's super toxic, they may feel that way though, however, and we just have to kind of clear out those cells so that we can accept all these great nutrients that our body's been begging us for, right? The symptoms are our body's way of saying, help me. I need help. I need something to make me blend, right, of all these great plant-based, hope you guys can hear me, it just said my internet was unstable, a proprietary blend of all these great plant-based vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, herbs, all these things that are coming together to help cleanse these toxins from our cells. Super, super important. So pre-attrition is not only a gentle cleanse, but also can help reduce the number of things like these inflammatory cytokines, right, that we talked about when we talked about immune and inflammatory in the bloodstream. So we're thinking about C-reactive protein, that's that CRP gene, right? Supporting the healthy immune system. So we're looking at that interleukin-6 or IL-6 SNP and that TNFA or that tumor necrosis factor alpha SNP, right? So all these things should start to make sense of understanding of why you're doing this. That's what I always tell my patients. I want you to know why you're doing it, because if you know why you're doing it, you're more prone to this. She just told me to go home and take it. If you know why you're taking it, you're more prone to take it because you understand how effective and how well it's going to support your body in a good way, right? So we also want to decrease oxidative stress and free radicals, which we talked about, which is that SOD2 gene, that superoxide dismutase gene, and also support our natural detoxification pathway, glutathione, right? The master detoxifier in all of our cells. If we have a weakness here, we're not going to be able to do that as well. And that's where that GSTP1 SNP comes in as well. So I hope you guys start to see the connection. If that's anything you can take away from everything that we've talked about, is the connection of how your body works together in such a holistic way. It's truly this quantum physics holistic view that we get at the body, and it all works as one whole piece. It's these tiny little individual ingredients, just like our PreTRITION and nutrition, that come together to make the recipe of us, which keep running at your utmost and your optimal level. So some key ingredients that I wanted to talk about with PreTRITION. There's a lot of great stuff in here. And if you look on the back of your PreTRITION, there's this big long list of all these things, and can get a little overwhelming sometimes when we see all this. But here's kind of the breakdown a little bit. Enzymes, okay, and I'm going out of order, so I'm sorry. I just kind of went off the top of my head what I remember is in there. Enzymes, okay, so enzymes are very important to help us break down our macros, our carbohydrates, our fats, our proteins. We actually need those to be able to break it down, to absorb, and to use those properly so we don't excrete them or store them. That's when it becomes unhealthy. Another thing that enzymes do, and here's where it's important, is that it helps support the bioavailability and absorption of all these plant-based herbs, vitamins, and minerals that we're putting in the PreTRITION and then the nutrition, so our body absorbs them better, right? Why take all these things if that's why you're here, is because prior to, when you were taking all these different things, your body may not have been absorbing it properly. And that's what we want to come in and say, we can do this better. B vitamins, right? So I know there's a bunch of B vitamins in there as well: niacinamide, methylcobalamin, methyl tetrahydrofolate, biotin, all these great B6, all these great different B vitamins, which are extremely important, and they're also a precursor for glutathione production, right? So they help us naturally detoxify. So not are they only in there for energy, which I know people, when I saw that comment, I'm glad it gives you energy. People want more energy. I don't know anybody who says, well, I actually probably could say that every once in a while, I don't want more energy, because it's just I have too much energy. It does give energy, but that's not the whole purpose of it, right? It's to help precurse our natural detoxification system, and also to put cellular energy into our cells to help them move faster and process faster, faster, and precurse all these different things that it does. So B vitamins, everybody wants to associate it with just energy, but it's so much more, so much more. The vitamins and minerals in here, all the different zinc and vitamins A, D, E, K, and all these things that we've got going on in our PreTRITION and even in some of the nutrition as well, of course, depending on what your SNPs are, help support a healthy immune system, right? An inflammatory response, which is important. If you're going to detox, also come in and support the immune system and inflammatory response in a healthy way. We want to decrease inflammation and help support a healthy immune response. And that's what we're doing here. And that's where some of the mistake, in my opinion, is made in a lot of these products. They come stripping out everything, and then they don't support the body in a healthy way. They don't keep the good bacteria there and healthy, and they don't allow your body to absorb these things because it's stripping out the good and the bad. So we have to be really careful about that. That's why inulin, I believe, on the list of ingredients. It's a prebiotic. It helps our body maintain good, healthy gut bacteria or microbiome bacteria. How important is that, right? So it plants the seeds so that all of these different vitamins and minerals can come in and be better absorbed. So not only are we trying to get the bad out with the gentle cleanse, I also want to make it known that this is also protecting, enhancing, and supporting our immune system, our inflammatory response, and also going to help us to where we're starting to feel a little bit better. And that's where some of this energy also is probably coming from, right? Your body's finally like thank you. I've been looking for this stuff for a long time and I'm finally getting it. This is amazing. Another one that's in here is frankincense, right? So frankincense, we all know, well, we know from the Bible. If you've read the Bible, you know it's something that's talked about there is very healing and very when it comes to immunity, but also just with essential oils. So anybody that's had anything to do with doTERRA, young I don't want to leave out or be, I'm not talking about those guys, I'm talking about us, but just so I could put it out there what that means. It's on our PreTRITION, right? It offers this whole big variety of health benefits, such as relieving chronic stress and anxiety, right? It's very soothing and calming, reduces pain and inflammation. There's some great studies on frankincense and arthritis if you ever get bored and want to look at studies like I do. And also at boosting immunity and the immune system, right? So that's an important ingredient in that. Juice powders. Right? So we use juice powders because they're great antioxidants. They help decrease oxidative stress and free radicals. So they're super important to put in there as well. Think of all these great polyphenols that you are getting, right? These red, blue, purple, all these different colored parts of the plants. They help protect our gut. What is our gut? 70 to 80% of our immune system, right? And that's where the absorption, the small intestine is where the absorption of all these vital nutrients are. So we keep this stable. And the last one that I was going to bring up, there's so many other ones in there. I tried to group them together as much as I could, but don't get me started on AC11 again. We talked about that last week. I could go on and on. The effects of AC11 help with, of course, the enhanced absorption and bioavailability of all these minerals, herbs, and vitamins that are packed into this PreTRITION. Yes, it helps it helps repair our RNA and DNA and telomeres, lengthen our telomeres. There's clinical research and data on that for sure. But the reason that I like it in the PreTRITION is because it helps with the absorption of all these great vitamins, minerals, and herbs that are packed in here. So that's another great reason why AC11 is in here and should be in here. So with all these wonderful ingredients in your PreTRITION, it's just going to help us prepare our body. Sorry, I just saw a question come up. Just help us prepare all these different and wonderful things that we are taking within this PreTRITION, right? And then once we get our nutrition, it's going to help with that as well. So I'm almost done, I promise, and then I'm going to get to some questions. So the other thing I kind of want to talk about is 3 things, and this is something that I talk to my patients about, and I think it's really important for all of us to understand. 3 things that we want to do with this product when it comes to PreTRITION and nutrition, right? When I talk to my patients, I say, here's what we need to do. Nourish, balance, sustain, right? 3 very important things. Nourish, balance, and sustain. Those are super important, right? And here's why. Nourish, that's where we think about PreTRITION, right? We need to nourish the body. We need to come in and help the cells cleanse and detoxify on a healthy level, right? That also includes healthy lifestyle, sunshine, positive relationships, exercise, positive mindset. All of that is included in that nourishing self-care. But if you follows me on social media, I'm always talking about self-care because it's important. If you can't pour from an empty cup, you know what I mean? You have to take care of yourself first. That's why in the airplane they say, put the mask on yourself and then help others, because if you can't breathe, how are you supposed to help anyone else? So nourishing is super important, and that's where PreTRITION comes into play. Then we have balance, right? I'm so sorry about the background noise, guys. Balance is super important as well, right? And this is where we start to look at these genetic variants, right? To help our body's biochemistry and understanding that as well, which is super important. Once we can understand the biochemistry of our body and how to help support it, we can balance the body out a little bit better, which to me is, I don't know, of course I'm a little biased here when it comes to genetics, but I think that's extremely important, right? So genetic variants allow us to foundationally support and balance your biochemistry, understanding them. So there's the balance part. Ability is huge. You have to be able to duplicate and do this all the time. If I told you you should go home and eat bananas all day, every day, and you don't like bananas, are you going to do it? Absolutely not. I wouldn't, you know, and so telling somebody to do something that's not sustainable isn't going to work. is this sustainable? Is this program sustainable? Absolutely it is, right? So we want the nutrition. This is where sustainability comes in with nutrition, helps create a healthy or creates healthy habits, right? And it does this by introducing these great ingredients our body needs to enhance our natural recovery potential and sustainability. Sustainability within our biochemistry as well, right? So when we say, or I say, or we all say euphoria gives your body a voice, absolutely it does, right? So nourish, balance, sustain, pre-attrition, genetic testing, nutrition. It's literally that simple. So I love, obviously, the pre-attrition. I think it's vital. I think everybody needs to finish their pre-attrition. So if you get started on it and your nutrition comes in, please finish it, because it's super important to make sure. It's like the doctor tells you, make sure you finish your antibiotics. You know, this is way better than that, right? So we want to make sure that we think of your pre-attrition as your healthy antibiotic. I don't even like that word, but it's something that we want to prepare our body for. We want to help our bodies become ready to be able to absorb our nutrition in a healthy way. We want to be able to kick more ass, right? So take your pre-attrition, finish your pre-attrition, and then of course start your nutrition. And that to me is the importance of it. I know I wish I could have talked more. I only had 30 minutes, but thank you all for listening. Of course, let me go back and see if I can find any questions from anybody. Dissolving calcification in the body. Well, sure, of course it can help. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But you know, we want to be able to help our biochemistry work more efficiently to eliminate certain things. And I had mentioned even exogenous estrogens and buildup of all these different industrial carcinogens that we're always susceptible to, right? We want our body to be able to rid these. We don't want to store them. We're exposed to them every day. That we can't help. But if we can rid them, then our body can actually help absorb. We can absorb these nutrients that we're going to get on a more efficient level. So will we absorb? How do we know we will absorb all these nutrients? Well, your body is going to tell you, for one, for sure, but there are tests that your practitioner can do as well. Different types of blood work you can have done to see where your levels are pre and then during or even post. You can have those looked at as well. I do blood work on all my patients. Let's see, is it a good idea to do a cleanse similar to pre-attrition periodically? You know, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. Jorge might shut me off, but I kind of hope pre-attrition is offered every once in a while throughout this process, right? So it would be nice to be able to have. Now remember, though, a lot of the stuff that's in our pre-attrition is actually in the base of your nutrition product. How cool is that? So you still are constantly getting these great ingredients, but would it be important to do it every 6 months or so? Absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea. And maybe I'll have to mention that this weekend while we're in Vegas, right? Something we bring up. But I don't try to read through some of these questions, guys. I know I have 2 minutes. Thank you so very much on listening, everybody on Facebook. I'm sorry I can't see you right now. Your questions, I will try to read over. And if you see me in Vegas, I will be there tomorrow night. Yay, I don't know who else is excited about this, but it sounds like it's going to be a rock and roll time. Can it help women with their menstrual cycles? I want to talk about that, Georgia, and exactly what that means, right? So we want to make sure our hormones are balanced and stable, and there's a lot of so can it? I don't know that it's targeted just for that, but we start to see changes that we're like, I never thought in a million years that it would change something like that. So everybody's different, of course. That's the beauty of genetics, is I look at everybody on a case-by-case basis. So it could, or it might be something else that we need to address or look at. So yes, Vegas, put on your party dress. Okay, guys, I think it's 12:30. Oh my gosh. Take your pre-attrition, finish your pre-attrition. It's wonderful. It helps cellular detoxify and cleanse, as well as enhance the bioavailability and absorption of all these great nutrients that we're putting in your nutrition. And you're still going to get some of that in your base of your nutrition as well. So don't forget that. Otherwise, yeah. So I'm surprised Jorge hasn't come on. There he is. Vegas. Who's excited for Vegas? I am. Jorge, are you excited for Vegas?
I am. Dr. Jen, we're ready. We've been working here at San George with a lot of little details for Vegas. We have a very good announcement. But, you know, guys, the most important things of these events is not only what you learn, but the experience. And you will get to to say hello, to take pictures with Dr. Jen, with Ron Williams, with everybody. And we're looking forward so much, Dr. Jen, to see you there, to see everybody there. If you were not planning on attending Vegas and you're in this call, well,
oh, you better go.
You better go. Yeah, you still have some time, and you don't want to miss what is going to happen there. And what happens in Vegas is not going to stay in Vegas this time.
Especially if you live there.
Yeah. So looking forward, and thank you so much, Dr. Jen. We have everybody. We have this call with Dr. Jen, lunchtime science, every Wednesday at noon Mountain Time. So next week we will have a different topic. Dr. Jen, do you care to tell us a little bit of what are we going to be talking about next week, or is that going to be a surprise?
Jorge, to be honest with you, I didn't know we were continuing this, so I'm kind of excited about that. Are we going to continue this, everybody? Is this something that we want to continue to do? Because I kind of love it, but maybe this is something we should do a little poll on and see if this
Let's do that, yeah, for sure, because I know how many people are looking forward to this time with you, Dr. Jen, and let's talk about that. I think it's so precious and so valuable this time with you, so thank you very much again for your time, and thank you everybody for connecting as every week.
We'll see you tomorrow. Yay!
See you in Vegas. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.